Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Run Game Ponder. So this is the first video of this channel, and I wanted to give a bit of an introduction about what this channel is about and what the purpose of it is. And then I'd like to get into our first topic. So, what is the Run Game Ponder? What it is a conversation or a series of thoughts and ideas that I have that I'd like to share. They're usually concepts and ideas that question a lot of factors of life. And I want to make this as like a playlist of as a guidebook in terms of how to think about certain things that usually are automatic in our head, something that we assume is the truth, but we never really sat down to question it or to think of it in a different way. And that's my goal here, is to maybe help learn things in a different way. So about who I am a man. I'm a young man, and as we go on more in the series, I'll tell you guys more about my stories and my life. But for now, I would like to share my ideas first, and then go from there. Now, these videos are not scripted. These concepts are at the top of my head. I have an idea, and I'd like to have a conversation with you about it. And so I will improvise and adapt as I go. And I don't want to keep, repeating recordings or stuff like that. So it will almost be like a one-time go. Alright. So the first idea that I'd like to talk about and try to introduce you to is the idea of learning to understand something. What does it mean to understand something? And you may laugh or think it's cringe or something to, like, you're thinking to your head, what does he mean by that? Like, what do you mean? Like, understanding something is to understand something, It's not that complicated. Yet, I don't think it's as simple as it may seem, because I've seen a lot of people who say they understand something, but they don't truly do. So I'd like to, further look into that idea and then explore it more. So, where I learned how to understand something was actually when I was, I think around 12 years old. And I watched this 2-hour video while I was eating. And it was just like this kind of a short movie or a movie. Almost like a movie, basically. Maybe in the future I'll tell you more about that, but in general, it was something that I watched. And it got into this really, really interesting concept of understanding someone else's mind. It's to sit down and try to dissect what the other person was thinking. And it was such a emotional, like really powerful thing to me, and it really played a big role in my life. In the idea that of what it means to understand somebody's idea or somebody's concept. what it taught me was a lot of what's being said, anything, there's something behind it. And what a lot of people don't know or don't fully grasp is the idea that what's behind the surface of what somebody says, right, or whatever idea or concept, it could be a fact, for example, 1 plus 1 equal 2. You can look at that and say, okay, 1 plus 1 equal 2. That is a quite simple, straightforward thing. And you say, I understand that. But take the people before 1 plus 1 equal 2 was there. For them to reach to the idea of 1 plus 1 equal 2, they had to go through a lot of adversities and challenges and different numbers and different ways to articulate numbers. And so those ancestors, let's say, had to go through a much deeper process to achieve the simple concept of 1 plus 1 equal 2. What I'm trying to say is there's more to what is being said, and there's more to concepts and ideas. To me, the way I define truly understanding something is for you to take the fact, whatever the fact is, whether it's what somebody says or it's an idea such as 1 plus 1 equal 2, to take that and being able to create almost like a formula or almost like a template, right? And being able to apply that same concept in other aspects of life. Now, I might have lost a lot of you at this point. That's why it's called the pondering. So let me try to give you an example. So there is this idea of, alright, money doesn't buy happiness, right? You hear this a lot of people say it. It's such a simple thing, and then when you look at it at a surface level for what it says, okay, well, money doesn't buy happiness. You can take it as face value. You understand it. Money does not buy happiness. Understandable, it makes sense. Because happiness is an emotion, and then you may sit there and think about it and say, okay, well, money doesn't buy happiness. Why? Oh, because people's explanation would be oh, yeah, because you don't have family, you can't buy family, or you can't buy time with your parents, you can't buy time with your kids, right? And you're, I don't know, struggling to deal with your personal issues or something like that. You could take that as a surface level, but what happens when you take it as a surface level idea is you'll have people come to you and says, oh, if money doesn't buy happiness, then just give me the money. If that's really your issue is because you have too much money, you're not happy, give me the money, like as a joke or as a troll, right? And then another example would be I would rather be sad in a Mercedes than happy in a Toyota or something, right? You see that a lot. Now, to me, that's not understanding it, right? Because when you really sit down with it, really think about it, okay, well, this is a fact is what's being said here, or a really deep concept that's being said here. Money doesn't buy happiness. When you look behind what that means, and you really question it, why doesn't it buy happiness? What is happiness, right? What defines happiness? Who decided what happiness means, right? And what you'll sit there and notice, or at least I noticed, was, okay, money doesn't buy happiness. Why? And what I've found is it's not that money can't buy happiness. In reality, money can't buy anything if you don't have the right mentality for the money. What do I mean by that is, if you looked at money as a source of an emotional coping mechanism, the more money you have, the more successful you are. That means because I'm more successful, I'm more satisfied. Because of the success which is based off of money, that means I'm more fulfilled or more fulfilled. You make these conclusions based off of the fact of money. So what happens there is it goes up and down. You one day feel amazing because you've got all the money in the world, but the second the money drops, your anchor to your other emotions drop. That's all fine and nice. But what if you always have high money? That means you're always feeling successful and great. And that's what a lot of people think, and that's what a lot of people chase. See, they chase the idea of a dream. Let me go get all that money in the world so I can live freely, travel the world freely, be able to give my kids all that they want and everything. They see money as the solution. They don't see it as an element of life, like every other element. And what happens is they go on this goose chase over this money, and what they notice is that once they've achieved the money, the other issues that they had doesn't get fixed by the money. They realize, okay, well, I do got the money now. I can put my kids in good schools, but they've already reached an age where they rebel against me. They've already reached an age where they despise me for chasing money this whole time and not making time for them. What does the school bring me at this moment? Because it doesn't give me satisfaction. Yeah, my kids will enjoy it, sure. But I don't get to enjoy them enjoying it because they've already have this concept of me because I'm constantly chasing the money. Or my wife still treats me the same way when I've got all the money in the world. It didn't solve our issues. And I look around me and my friends are all different lives because I didn't have time for them. See, because chasing that money takes time. It takes a lot of effort. That means that time and effort is not given to anywhere else. To me, that's a deeper level of understanding of the idea of money doesn't make happiness, right? Or make you happy. But of course, it could go deeper than that. And you can go root, like deeper down the roots. And that's something you can like study for a really, really long time, right? But anyways, back to the point. The point was, to me, that is a deeper understanding. Now you understand something. When you truly understand the concept behind it, rather than just what's being said. See, now this concept of money doesn't buy happiness can be applied to literally virtually anything physical. That car won't buy me happiness. That game is not going to buy me happiness. That job is not going to buy me happiness. When you sit down and you start applying that same concept, not just to money, to people. Oh, if only I got married to this person, I would be happy now. That's not true. Because people don't buy happiness, right? Doesn't get you happiness. When you sit down and realize that and say, okay, well then what does? Well, it's the simple concept of you make yourself happy. See, these people